Where do you see the cryptocurrency industry going? In this video, I'm going to talk with some of our experts, and I'm going to share some very definitive information that you're going to want to pay attention to. Specifically, we're going to talk about generational wealth. Those of you who are Gen Xers, baby boomers, you're accumulating a lot of wealth that's in control, about to pass it down in inheritance. Are your kids ready? Really, because it's cryptocurrency, are you ready? In this video specifically, I'm going to interview Kelly Korsick. He's a friend, he's a mentor, expert in cryptocurrency. He's been in part of the largest think tanks around this conversation. And what's going to happen? How is it going to happen? Is it going to become a global currency? Is it going to be a one world currency? How's it going to really work out? So we're going to be heading to an interview to ask all those questions of my very amazing and genius friend. Welcome back. Kelly is with us again, and he is the founder of Flip Invest, who has a software that's going to be trading and available to trade through algorithms and AI, your digital currency, cryptocurrencies coming soon. Today, I want to talk a little bit, Kelly, about where's this industry going? What do you see with cryptocurrency in the future?
I see the crypto markets having a very bright and fortuitous future. These markets are here to stay. Most of the time, and we hear a lot of naysayers of cryptocurrency throughout the newspapers and sometimes the news. And the reason we hear that, and the common feature of every time we do hear it, is that it's some older person saying that.
Yeah.
So the common feature is an older person who doesn't understand the idea that a currency can exist essentially in the cloud. And if you can't touch it, then it doesn't exist. So that's the naysayer. The reason why the future of cryptocurrencies, and not all of them, but many of them, is bright, is because the generation that accepts them and generally trades them and has literally over 70% of the value of the existing amount of cryptocurrency is a younger generation. This younger generation shares something in common. One, a lack of trust in sovereigns. Two, a lack of trust in the arms of the sovereigns, which are the banks. To a younger generation, a bank is something that is disposable in the future. We really don't need banking if we can exchange things and not have a bank in the middle of them. The reason a bank is in the middle of them is because they hold all the currency. So if you have a dollar, you might have it in your pocket, but more than likely, if you're buying a house or a car, you're going to go to some bank and make a contract with them to help you buy that car or house. With current cryptocurrencies, you wouldn't go to the bank because they don't transact in that way. So I suspect in the future, there will be some kind of internet bank that only deals with the trade of cryptocurrencies, which means that the banking system is likely to change in the future as a result of these types of currencies and the distrust of sovereigns and banks. And that's another reason why the banks and the sovereigns don't like them. The sovereigns don't like the idea of a cryptocurrency because it means that they lose the control of controlling the money supply. Now, bank doesn't like it, means that they lose being the middleman inside of all those transactions. Those get all cut out and the world becomes actually a more efficient place. So the other complaint that has to be addressed as to why there's a bright future in cryptocurrencies would be the fact that the banks currently say you can't trust that currency. It'll go to zero. They try to create and instill fear. What are they doing that for? They're doing that to protect their future, to protect the way that they've made money historically.
Kelly, I was just going to say, but aren't sovereigns also, they have their own digital currency. They just haven't come out and supported it, correct?
Yep. Some sovereigns, like Venezuela, for example, are offering their own, and smaller countries are offering their own. Jamie Dimon at Chase Bank is trying to offer his own. Of course, he's going to say, oh, don't invest in those. Yeah. So they create their own. But why would I buy his cryptocurrency? Why would I buy his digital currency? It's still at his bank. And if I don't trust his bank, even if it is the largest bank in America, then it means that you're not going to be able to transact and earn money on it. That's why he wants that. So yes, sovereigns are leaning towards accepting it. And at some point, if it becomes too large, all sovereigns, including this one, the United States of America, will have to accept it. But at the end of the day, the real reason why I feel cryptocurrencies have a value is, look, we all understand that globalization is a fact. It is no longer able in this world today to act in an isolationist way. Countries share with countries. Most of the imports into America of goods that we receive still come from China, and they still come from Europe. And so what America exports is technology, but we still import goods and services, especially goods. Well, right now, when goods come into this country, they've been paid for. Say a good comes in from China, we can't pay China a dollar. We have to translate that dollar into their currency, an RMB, through a bank. However, if I have cryptocurrency, guess what? I have a worldwide currency. There's no translation. And the values of things start to even out, and ultimately they become cheaper. Why? Less transaction costs. Mm-hmm. So it's a deflationary concept as well. A lot of people don't look at it that way, but it actually reduces the propensity of prices to rise in any kind of environment. And that has nothing to do with, for example, today's world that has an inflation that's induced in a different way.
So if you're enjoying this interview, we have a lot more to get into. So I want you to subscribe to my channel. Like right now, go hit the button, put notifications on here 5 days a week. And this is really important content. We're going to jump in back to the interview. Talk about generational wealth. Those of you that are Gen Xers, your baby boomers, your money will be transacted in cryptocurrency. Is your family ready from a generational wealth standpoint? Let's go back over to the interview.
Cryptocurrencies for the long run are definitely a good bet, in my opinion. And again, it's my opinion, but I know that my opinion is shared by many other people that have investigated this kind of thing as I have. And my feeling is over time, they will become even widely accepted by much older people as well, increasing demand even further. The crypto markets have a long way to go, and I see them as the ultimate undoing at some level of the banking system and even the need for it, and also a way for sovereigns to have to back off on the way they tax, because it's much harder to tax cryptocurrencies. Okay. So therefore, if they have to accept cryptocurrencies in the long run, that means they're going to have to find a way to tax them, and then they will become even more established. So anybody that wants to bet against crypto must, I think, be prepared to watch it go much higher and find out that they will be wrong in the future in a, frankly, I feel, a very large way.
Do you think the banks are actually going to adjust and accept to stay in the game? Or do you think it's just going to become, do you think they're going to adjust?
They have to adjust, because at the end of the day, banks want transactions, just like a credit card. There was people many years ago, I remember from my parents, that credit cards didn't exist until the 50s. And people said, oh, nobody should ever accept that plastic. What happens if the bank goes under? Well, today we, of course, accept that plastic, and we buy most of the goods and services we like with a credit card, not cash. So it's not a far stretch to say that one day it won't be a credit card. It'll be a wave of your phone, which we already know is possible, that exchanges some form of cryptocurrency for the groceries or hotel bill or gas or even an automobile. The banks have to accept if they want to be ahead of the game and not lose all of their transaction income. So it's just a matter of time.
Last question. Do you think there's going to be one world currency as part of this industry goes?
Yes. And the question is, which one of the coins that exists today or doesn't exist yet will be that? My instinct is that Bitcoin will likely be the first contender as a worldwide currency. And to follow up on that a little bit more, right now, the US dollar, and has been since World War II, the world currency. Just like as English is the world's language, every pilot that flies, even if it's in China, when they talk to an air traffic controller or a ground control, they are talking in English. Why? Because that plane flies internationally, and international airports everybody that's a pilot must speak English to land that plane. Well, at some point, there's going to be a currency like that. The international currency, right now, the biggest contender for that is Bitcoin. And if something else emerges, it's going to be hard to supplant it, because Bitcoin already has such a large following, and it will solve all the international trade issues that we see today.
Kelly, brilliant insights, and appreciate your experience with all of this. And those of you that are enjoying this, put it in the comments below. We answer every day. And at the end of our broadcast, we're going to give you a link to a free app, iFlip. Kelly, thank you.
Again, Loral, it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Actually, if you're enjoying this and you have questions, put them in the comments. Our team is out here every day, multiple times a day. If you give us your name and phone number, we'll call you. Because some of you, I'm sure you're in a sheer panic going, oh my gosh, I'm not ready for this. Our family's not ready for this. We're ready for you though. So I want you to take my financial personality quiz. It's going to put you in one of 4 categories. And a lot of you that have some wealth and you've accumulated some wealth, this is going to be a generational wealth transfer. So right behind the quiz, I'm going to give you an application to have a private conversation with one of my senior team members. And we'll talk about how we're going to support you through this transition of generational wealth from one generation of very different currency coming soon to another.